IAXIS Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
IAXISRADIO, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Hello and good evening to everybody tuning in. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. You are tuned into the Lola Shae Show. I am your host, Lola Shae. You are catching me right now on IAXISRADIO.com. So thank you once again for tuning in to everybody who's checking me out. Love to see you guys. Putting my glasses on so I can be in the chat with y'all today. Last time I couldn't see nothing. It was people saying hi, and I'm like, is that something up there that I should be noticing? So I got me some backup glasses. Okay, I bought like 5 pairs of backup glasses this time, you guys, because I'm bad with glasses. I keep breaking them every time. Either they fall off my face and I step on them, or I sit on them, or I fall asleep in them and wake up and one of the eyes broke off. I'm not good with glasses. We're going to do like a whole episode of all of the stuff that's going on with me so that y'all don't have to bring it up, you know? Y'all don't have to bring it up later. You're going to notice, you know, I do a lot of fidgeting. I got a bad back. I had a car accident. So it's not easy for me to sit still for long periods of time. But I want to be here with you guys. So I wiggle. Yeah, and some other stuff. But that was the first one that popped in my head. Good evening, Music Buff Radio. Always happy to have you guys in the chat. Shout out to Siobhan Jones, my at-home co-host. Love to see you as well. Jasmine Howard. I'm expecting a phone call from you this week. So, yes. Okay. So there's going to be some changes with the tickets for any future tickets. We're setting up official Eventbrite listings so you guys can go there and book shows and get your tickets and stuff. So I have personalized. As soon as I get the tickets in my hand physically, I'll be bringing them to the people who won, and that will be so far. That is Siobhan Jones and Ebby Justice. Now I checked the feed, and while Vaughn did text, technically he didn't call. So and plus he works for IAXIS Radio, so he's ineligible for any contests and stuff. Sorry, Vaughn, about that. Anyway, so yeah, this week's show, I'm trying again as usual to pace myself because I wind up talking too fast and run through all my little topics halfway through the show. And we haven't gotten it formatted properly yet. We're working it out slowly but surely. It's a work in progress. It's literally a 2-man show, a 1-woman, 1-man show. Me and Alan here. So as it grows, you will see the changes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so basically this week's topic was inspired by a video that I saw online. I was able to capture the video, and gonna get it put up for you guys in a second. I thought it was hysterical, but it definitely spotlights an important point for women in America these days, and our struggles with the healthcare industry, and our struggles with just having our complaints heard and justified and accepted as real and not figments of our imagination. Oh, we're overreacting. Oh, we need to calm down. Oh, it's all in our head. And this gaslighting, because that's what it's called, gaslighting. This gaslighting exists in the medical field as well. So you go into the medical field and you say, hey, I'm suffering from this, and the third. And they tell you, oh, it's in your head. You know, you might need to lose some weight. You might need, oh, you're just depressed. And then it takes you 10 freaking years to actually get a diagnosis. Now, what's crazy about this is that these are things that I've observed in my own dealings with the healthcare industry, fighting with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, fibroids, any other number of things that Black women struggle with. And we get to the doctor and, he basically tries to tell us that we're losing our minds. We're absolutely losing our minds, which also, of course, how you'll learn if you don't know how my brain bounces around. So the losing our mind jumps over to gynecology. Again, another woman's field, where the cure for hysteria, what they considered to be hysteria, I should say, in those days back in the 1817s, was to masturbate a woman. They felt that everything was cured in a woman's life with a nut. So yeah, just to wrap my mind around that, should basically explain today's medical field, but it doesn't. And it's inexcusable that half of the population has to go through unnecessary complications and run around when it comes to our health. And I find that also interesting, considering the fact that women are more likely to go to the doctor than men are. But women are least likely to have their ailments actually have studies done for, so that, medications and treatments can be created. No, we don't really get that. So I'm going to let that video I was pulling up. Good evening, Abby. How are you? Love to see you. Going to pull up the video real quick. I hope you guys enjoy it, and then we'll come back and talk about it some more. So as soon as Alice ready, then we get the I hope her eyeshadow reminds me of Mimi from the Drew Carey show. I just want to say that. But,
morning sickness, endometriosis, menopause, migraines, PCOS. What's happening to your body? We don't know, because we never really studied the female body. Say it's all in my head, but the research is quite spotty. No, we've never really studied the female body. Dismissed. Try losing weight, you're just anxious. That's fine, that's cool, I'm not pissed. Just wait 10 years for a diagnosis. Psychosomatic, you're so dramatic. Hysterical, emotional, hormonal, erratic. Heart disease, chronic fatigue, depression and anxiety. Do you have pain? No, you don't, because we've never really studied the female body. More mysterious than the Illuminati. No, we've never really studied the female body.
It's just like a man's body, but with boobs, right?
Yeah, no, it's not like a man's body with boobs. It's a very, very, very complicated, very well made, fiercely constructed instrument. God damn it. It is not a man's body with boobs. Anywho's in it. So no, seriously. I mean, I had to introduce some comedy to it, some amusement to it, because it's really a topic that pisses me the hell off. Okay, because seriously, you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. You got all these PhDs. You got all of this. You want all of this props for being the smartest and the best and the greatest, and yet you know absolutely nothing about half of the population of humans on the planet. Like that should very much concern people, but it doesn't, ironically enough. And so we're still finding out things to be facts that we should know already. We're still studying things that should have been figured out already, and women are suffering for it. Otherwise, you know, is it too ideal? Is it too idealistic, should I say, to want to be properly cared for? Is that hysteria? Is that just being emotional? Am I being emotional because I want the same care and consideration that you give a man? Yeah, an instrument. I mean, it's just like we can go back to the Bumble thing where they consider women to be their product, a commodity, an item. We just now got some semblance of autonomy, even though they're trying to reverse all of that, removing your right to choose whether or not you agree with the right to choose. That is your right to have an opinion, but it is also your right to decide to or not to carry a massive responsibility to term. And the idea that some states are outlawing it completely, even in the case of rape and incest, shows once again a massive disconnect with half of the population of humans on the planet. It's not like there's 90 million men and 3 women. So you say, oh, it really matters like that. It doesn't. But it does. It does. And they're showing that in Korea. So in Korea, they have the 4B movement. Basically, they've decided en masse not to have any affiliation with men whatsoever. No marriage, no dating, no reproducing. They've single-handedly crashed the birth rate in Korea, in North Korea. So women have power. Who'd have thunk it? I mean, I've been saying for months that if women decided to cut off the supply, that we might see some kind of changes. We already see the dating apps freaking out. It's a disregard 100. Absolutely. It's a disregard. I mean, even if you want to relegate us to just being sexual partners or objects, whichever one you want to look at it as, and for the processes of reproduction, you would assume that if that was the case, they would still have excellent health care, because you want the reproduction to go well. You want the babies to be healthy. You want the mother to be healthy so she can have healthy babies. You want healthy deliveries. You don't want high infant mortality or mother mortality rates. You don't want I mean, even if that's what you said, if that's what you say, that's what you want, then how come the healthcare, at least the healthcare, doesn't reflect that? How come there seems to be it's hypocrisy? There's no disconnect. They're just a bunch of hypocrites, and somebody at some point is gonna call them on it. I think it should be us, but it's like 4 of us. So we need more people. They will have old soldiers if we go to war with North Korea. They will have old soldiers. North Korea, I have a lot of debates about North Korea. I believe it may actually be a Potemkin village. If anybody knows what that is, that's like closest thing I can explain to that is what they did up in the Bronx back in the days. If for my viewers that are not from New York, the Bronx was burnt out back in the days. Like I say, 70% of the Bronx was burnt out buildings. And Koch was mayor at the time. And instead of repairing the buildings or fixing the windows, they basically just took pictures of, they painted pictures of windowsills with flowers and, you know, the graph, the grid for the window. They painted those in place of the windows to make it seem like, you know, the buildings were repaired and functioning properly. But it was well, yeah, they're having a crisis right now as we speak, Music Buff, about their birth rates have tanked, completely tanked. They don't have anybody, soldiers, workers, nobody, and they don't care. They don't care. They say we rather not reproduce than reproduce with a piece of shit. And I can't disagree. Excuse me. I can't argue with them. From my own personal experiences dealing with the opposite sex, they'll lead you to feeling that way. They really, I mean, I wish I could say different. I wish it wasn't the case. But the worry is that said movement will come over here to America. I mean, it's already spreading to other countries. So they're worried that it's going to come to America. So that's where the whole Bumble situation came from. They wanted to get ahead of the 4B movement, which is what they're calling it. And try to tell American women that celibacy is not the answer. But it didn't work. It didn't work. They had to take the flyers and billboards down. They had to issue apologies, and as they should. If we have learned nothing from all the different happenings in the world, is that unity is the only thing that they understand. So as women, if we unify, we will get things done. There's no question. It's not a question. They know this, which is why they consistently and constantly, often and frequently, work very, very hard to keep us fighting with each other. Bring down the country? No, restructure the country, not bring down the country. I love this country, but if you sit there and even think for a second that some serious improvements are not necessary and immediately, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. No, I don't want to. And let me make that a note as well. I under no circumstances am for any kind of collapsing of my beautiful America. Okay. But on the other hand, yeah, let's stop making babies with bums. It's not real complicated. It's not going to bring down the country. Not even a little bit. How about we might stop picking fights with everybody if our military shrunk a little bit? How about that? You ever thought about that? I mean, we don't need to be fighting everybody. We don't need to be policing their business. We don't need to be over in their country worrying about what they got going on when we got more than enough going on over here. We don't need none of that. So if not having sex causes the country to get the restructuring itself, people reevaluating their priorities, then we have more than done our job. More than. That's not destroying the country. What they're doing right now, that is destroying the country. Yeah, we're about to elect a felon, a 36-time felon. Oh, let me rephrase that. Y'all about to elect a felon, a 36-time felon, because ain't no way I'm voting for him or Biden. So that means I have nobody to vote for. I'm going to put NA on the thing. Is there any way I could do that? Anybody? No? If I could put NA, not applicable. Put a FU on the paper. I'm going to put a paper ballot so I could put FU on the paper and mail that shit into Albany like a motherfucker. Because no. This is the only thing you can find. Grandpa Perv and Crazy Freak Nick 76. No, we got to do better than this. Where's the young people at? Are we still scared? Is that what's going on? We're still scared? Anyway, on to my next topic. child, because they're going to get my blood pressure up. I refuse to let them get my blood pressure up. Okay? I'm so sorry, because that's what they be wanting to do. So next topic we have up is Marvin's Room, sponsored by Marvin's African Art and Books, located 320 Ralph Avenue on the corner of Herkimer and Ralph. He's been in business over 15 years, selling African art, books, incense, oils, and all manner of awesome, awesome things. Dope do. Call area code 917-375-1336. Place your orders. I showcasing prints today because I brought frames, and the whole trip last week was me panicking about them getting broken. Like, oh my God, don't bump it, don't bang it, don't do nothing to it. It's gonna break. So today's series is by Lori Cooper. As you can see, she's done a beautiful job. This series is called Timeless. And as you can see, it's actually it's two versions. So you have the mic and the two like mic at the bottom. Basically, Mike came out around a time when everybody was really big trying to just figure out what was going on with Mike's face. So a lot of people believed that he was, not fond of his blackness. So that he was changing his face to not be black anymore. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, you got the whole vitiligo thing. He probably didn't want to be black, considering his dad called him a black MF for every chance he got. So I think it was a combination of things. Like, he had to do something with the multicolored he had going on. And then, I mean, that doesn't explain the nose or any of the other things that, was claimed to be done about him. But that was my favorite one out of the series. The other ones I like, we have one that kind of looks like Tyra Banks, even though it's not. It's just kind of, sort of, maybe looks like Tyra Banks. And I don't know, people used to come in the store and they would like ask about what the picture means. Pictures tend to mean what you want them to mean. Some say it's about the new and old versions of us. Some say it's about the mask that we wear when we go out into the public. And of course, the artist has their own interpretation of what they believe it is. But I just think that they're all beautiful, and they would look really nice in your house somewhere. So as usual, the prints are 8x10s, and they do come framed if you want them to. No matter who I choose, somebody has to win. Child, I don't know, because I don't know. They're pushing around the idea of a civil war. I don't know who the fuck they plan on fighting, and I'm gonna say that again because I ain't fighting nobody. I ain't got no beef with nobody. So, and they better not come on my block with that bullshit. I don't see them coming on my block with that bullshit. They might have to worry about that in the small towns that guy was talking about in that song, but Brooklyn, I don't really see that working up here. But they are planning some kind of division based on this election coming up. So you got the people who say if Trump don't get in, they're gonna wild out. And then you got the people who say if Trump does get in, they're gonna wild out. So expect some version of wilding out come this election. I don't know. People are two-faced. A lot like my segment, my series this week. I mean, they say they're gonna vote for Trump, then their face falls off when they get in there, and they vote for somebody else, or vice versa. So, so I'm not voting. I don't give a damn. All right, I'll vote locally, councilmen, congressmen, House of Representatives, assemblymen, aldermen, advocate. I vote local because I can see what they're doing in real time. I can affect some of the decisions in real time. We had the councilman, Mr. Chris Banks, the Honorable Chris Banks. Shout out to him. Had him in the studio, in the garden for our garden day on the 1st. We will be in there on Juneteenth. I'll be out of town for the week, but we'll be hanging out in there. And then we're doing a barbecue for the kiddies and the people's them in the neighborhood. Just some burgers and franks, nothing too complicated. Just want to get out there and give away some stuff because, it's in my nature to do stuff for other people. So I get to fulfill that with my garden. It's excellent. I know, we get into you, baby. We get into you. You just stand up for a little while longer. Let me see. Maybe if I put some weed in here, it would stand up. All right. Something like that. Bam. Okay, now that shit seems like it's in the way or something. I don't know how Al had it. He had it perfect. Anyway, child, it's not even that serious. Yep. So, Lori Cooper, Timeless, pickup is always free. We discuss any deliveries. Still got my shirt giveaways. The phone hasn't rang. I find that very interesting. But anyway, got my t-shirt giveaway for the 5th caller. We're on caller number 3 at this point. I can go on forever. Doesn't mind. I don't mind. I want to shout out to my boy Dio. The logo is the brand. Dio's doing big things. He sold out. He got some toilet paper in the he's got his logo on literally everything. I love it. I love a hustler. I'm telling you. He's got his logo on everything. He said, I got the mugs. I was like, oh. I got to get a mug. He giving me, where my hoodie? Where my hoodie at, homie? Where my hoodie at? Okay. Because I know he's watching. Shout out to you, Dio. Yeah, I need my hoodie. He's got toilet paper with his face on it. Now that is funny. Oh, we love to eat. You know that. That's my favorite shit. Actually, one of my favorite things. Goes on the list for sure. Want to shout out Lola Shae Botanicals. So Lola Shae, everybody knows my name is neither Lola nor Shae, but that's none of your business. If you don't know what my name is, you're not gonna find out no time soon. And you heifers better not tell nobody. Anyway, the Shae comes from my first creation was shea butter, was body butters that I was selling. And this lady around my way was calling me the Shae lady. So the Shae lady, I've been called the Shae lady, the flower lady, the cable lady. So so the cable lady, shout out to B London, the brand B London hats. She does awesome fedoras. I'm gonna get some photos of her fedoras for when I come back in for next week. Well, actually, I will be out of town next week. Boo! But there'll be something playing for you guys if you choose to tune in. And I can tell who did tune in and who didn't. So I might reward because I need my numbers to consistently go up. But I have a life. I have stuff to do. This is actually a work-related trip. So I'll have some information and stuff for you guys when I come back. But I have to go. So we haven't gotten to the point where you won't miss me. Like it's not been that many shows yet. But I will be back the following Monday. Hopefully with some awesomeness for you guys. I'll find something cool while I'm out that I can give away for you guys. So next up. So Lola Shae Botanicals is a subsidiary of Oasis Business Group, LLC, right? They, Lola Shae Botanicals, its own identity, its own entity. It specializes in holistic beauty brands, beauty products, hair care, skin care, aromatherapy, which is, oils, incense, all kinds of good smelling stuff. I make a lot of stuff myself. Except for the incense, I leave that to the professionals because I really, really want it to smell good. Not to say that what I couldn't do, but it would take me years to get what they've already perfected. So why mess with a good thing? You understand? Now, when I get to that point, then I can feel comfortable selling it with my name on it. But until then, no. I can only put my name on stuff I feel I can 100% get behind. So that's all that is. What else? Let's see. Oh, so all my girls like sports. Girls like sports. Girls love sports. Damn it. I played all the sports. I played basketball, softball, kickball. I ran track, triathlon. I did pole vaulting, hurdles, and the shot put. Now, how good was I at all of those things? I said I played. I played. That's what I said. Because some people be like, I played against it. So, my ego is small enough that I can say that I played. I didn't say I was like D1 or no shit like that. So don't put no words in my mouth. But we like sports. I'm talking about girls don't like sports. Yes, the freak we do. Okay. And the WNBA is proving it. Yes, I'm loving it. And I'm kind of hating it at the same time. So the WNBA, they've been having a hell of a year this year. This crop of rookies has brought unprecedented attention to the WNBA. Okay, they're selling out arenas now where they wasn't before. They're selling out their season tickets where they weren't before. They're getting a lot more ESPN. Matter of fact, ESPN is now finally covering WNBA games. And then a lot of people want to blame this shit on Caitlin Clark, and that really interests in it bothers my stuff. It bothers my nerves because all right, I always speak about the Great White Hype and the Great White Hope. Those are two different movies, but it's the same concept. Okay, so one was a let me see. The Great White Hype was a 1970s movie starring James Earl Jones. And the Great White Hope was James Earl Jones, 1970. And the Great White Hype was a remake with Samuel L. Jackson in 1996. Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Foxx, and Damon Wayans. Both movies followed the same premise. So basically, white folks are looking for anyone, it doesn't matter who, anyone that they can put up against the black heavyweight champion, right? So you got the black heavyweight champion who earned his heavyweight champion by knocking niggas out, right? Well, knocking crackers out specifically. That's what they had a problem with. So now they keep looking for this unicorn, basically, to beat the black person. Okay, so Drake was the Great White Hope for the rap industry from the Jewish people. Okay, and let me put it shit. Every 5 minutes is a disclaimer, okay? Because I got to get my disclaimers in early because I'm not gonna give disclaimers once I get going good. So I'm giving all my disclaimers early. Anti-Semitic would require for me to be anti-Semitic. It would require for me to be anti-Semitic. And since I am a Semite, I cannot possibly be anti myself. They don't think that you know that So every time you say something that they don't like about them, they say that you are anti-Semitic. How? I'm anti the bullshit that you're doing. That's what I'm anti. I'm not anti myself because I'm a Semite. All right? Just because you masquerading as a whole race of people, that doesn't make me against that race of people. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so tell a friend, because that's what I said. And I'll say it again. I'll say it again. So anyway, Drake was the great white hope for the Jews. They wanted as close as possible black presenting without actually being black while still being actually Jewish, which they got because they determine your Jewishness through your mother's lineage, not through your father's. So your father could be any nationality he wants to be. Long as your mother is Jewish, you are Jewish. Okay? Okay. So now we understand that. So they wanted a black-ish presenting Jewish man, specifically a man, to get into the highly lucrative, lest we cannot sit around and pretend that the rap game is not lucrative at this point. Okay, highly lucrative rap game and funnel cash, become a cash funneling system. That's what they want in basketball. That's what they want in boxing. That's what they want in they maintain that in corporate America. They maintain that. But in sports, it's kind of hard because we naturally do better than them. This is how God made us. Get mad at God. Well, they are mad at God. Let me not forget that part. They are very, 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 very mad at God. The Zionists are extraordinarily, you didn't even understand how mad at God that they are. They're so mad, they don't even want to acknowledge that there is a God to begin with. So, child, that's a level of anger that, because you're breathing the oxygen, but it's not there. Okay. I don't argue with those people because it gets irrational levels when you start talking about that. Like, how do you not? Like, I don't argue with them people because it's didn't get my blood pressure up. So anyways, Caitlin Clark, they're formally upset that she didn't get invited to the Olympics. Why the fuck would she get invited to the Olympics? The girl can barely play. And I mean barely. She's clumsy. She got no game. She can't take a bump, let alone an actual foul. Like where intentional, I fouled your ass and fuck you. Her feelings gets hurt. She might as well cry. No, I don't see her at the Olympics. You know who did make it to the Olympics? Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner made it to the Olympics. But Brittany Griner plays ball consistently. That's why they wanted that bitch out of jail badly. It was like, oh, no. We need her. You can have the criminal. We need her. WNBA must have been pulling some serious strings. You know, with plausible deniability. We weren't here type shit. But yeah, they really wanted her. And she's on the Olympic team. But no Caitlin. And I don't even understand why you niggas was expecting Caitlin to be on there. First of all, she has not proven herself worthy of the Olympics. The Olympics? Don't start nothing. There won't be nothing, I promise. It's a perfect example of talent versus opportunity. Because they gave her all of the opportunities. People can give you opportunities. Regardless of your talent level, they can give you opportunities. But they can't give you talent. They can't make her a good player. I mean, I'm sure they probably could Phil Jackson 3-point defense, hypnotize her ass, but that's still going to take some time. That's not coming in the door. She's not coming in the door like that. Maybe a couple years. If she makes it a couple years, you might see, some improvement once they get a hold of her, get in her ear, literally. But no, absolutely damn not. And I really hope we stop trying to front like that. It's not fair to the people that busting their ass. It's really not. So anywho's in. Ciao. That brings us to my Up in Smoke segment. Okay, so I got to explain last week. Last week, so I honestly get these strains. I honestly sample. I forget. I know it pauses during that, so I just shut up. I mean, I'm not going to have to repeat myself. Anyway, so I know. So like I said, I'm actually testing out these strains, right? It's not a lot of weed. It's enough to sample, right? But child, okay, like I said, when I say I like sativas, it's for a reason because I be having shit to do. So last week, I thought it was going to work out if I waited until I actually came to the show so it would be fresh. It would be fresh in my mind when I do the review. And then went outside, smoked my weed, and I came in here and forgot everything the fuck I was supposed to say. Which is why indicas is just not it for me. It's just not it. The stuck levels is so astronomically high. Okay, and this week they gave me another goddamn indica strain, Tyson. Chow. Stuck. I went to sleep. I don't even know what time it was, but it was like early in the day for absolutely no reason other than high as fuck. So, you know, it really makes you reevaluate your priorities. Like, what am I doing with my life? Okay. This might be too much. I don't know if this is going to work out. I'm telling you, I was tripping out. I was supposed to be doing something. I don't remember what the freak that was. I was getting phone calls. I was ignoring. I heard the phone. I looked over at it and I just continued staring at the wall for 20 minutes. Like, no, just like don't play games with these strains they coming up with. So anyway, this week's strain is the Mike Tyson strain, known as the Mike Tyson strain. OG Tyson, OG Mike. They got all the names, right? It comes in at about 20%. Now, I've actually had weed that was stronger than 20%. But again, sativas, totally different vibe, totally different feeling, totally different high altogether. Okay? And for my medical people, if you have insomnia, this is the strain for you. Okay? Because you're going to sleep. I'm telling you right now. If that's not what you had planned, smoke something else. All right? So like I said, it comes in at 20% because it is a not patented, but it's a proprietor thing. They don't really give what the strands that they mixed it is. And it actually would recommend that it's for experienced smokers because no more for me. Exactly. So I started I'm like, I don't know if I should smoke weed anymore. Like, I think I need to take a tolerance. It ain't even a tolerance break at this point. I just need a break, bitch. This is too much. Too damn much. So yeah, named after the former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. It's sure to knock you out. Absolutely, positively gonna put you on your ass. Whether that's where you want to be or not, that's why we're doing this show. So you don't come across these things and think they're games and you just say, I ain't gonna do nothing, and you smoke it. I told you it's gonna put you on your ass. So if that's not what you want, leave that Mike Tyson alone. I mean, think about it. It's Mike Tyson. So they had to come up with something that he specifically would approve and think was, the shit. Like, bow. So, I mean, Mike, not trying to be funny. Mike Tyson's from right here in New York, right in Brooklyn, New York. We're in the Bronx, but he's from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn. He comes to Brooklyn. He still comes to Brooklyn, to Brownsville, to hang out with the homies and shout everybody out and all of that. And it's still a riot when he shows up. It's still 99,000 people show up to see Mike. just on the corner of Pickett Avenue. So let's see. So you got me over here laughing, and if Mike's name on it, yeah, mighty 90. Exactly my point. Just I don't know what you would be thinking that something made by Mike Tyson would do other than knock you clean the fuck out. So, and that's what it does. I was so asleep that I was, just don't have shit to do. To do it at nighttime, do it on your day off, or don't do it, because that is all. That is the freak all. Okay. So it is ideal for experienced smokers. Effects include sleepy and hungry and maybe a little anxious. Knocked out, Jasmine Howard, knocked out. Medical users turn to Tyson to combat. Can't even read my own writing. Combat insomnia, stress, and anxiety. So yeah, ciao. I ain't smoked nothing today, as you can tell. You might can tell. A totally different day because man. Then I had a guest pop up last week. Wasn't expecting that. Brother was like, "I'm gonna be in the building." I was like, "Cool, fuck it, bring your ass up here." Nobody better to talk about your shit than you, you know. So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to the show. Speaking of which, we have a couple of events coming up, and a couple of who's gonna touch the strings if I stop smoking. Oh, Vonnie Jones. Vonnie Jones is the only other weed tester I trust that I believe what she say. So yeah, that would be my weed tester. Me and Vonnie Jones have been testing weed for 20 years, no exaggeration. Since 1996. We have been testing weed since 1996. Me and Vonnie Jones. Ebony Justice was testing weed with us for a little while, but she quit. She got a job. But that's what we used to do. We used to test the weed. So we would get the weed. We was I hate to say we was doing pre-rolls in the 90s. We was doing colored bamboo paper in the 90s. We was doing colored cracks too, but don't tell nobody. But yeah, in the 90s, something was popping. Shout out to Something Bully crew. Shout out to everybody on Something Boulevard, to everybody who helped shape my life, my awesomeness, shape who I am today, the good and the bad. I appreciate all y'all. If you ever pop up and happen to see this show, and you'll be like, I remember that goddamn girl. Hi. And to y'all who never expected hi. To y'all who said I couldn't hi. I don't know how long but you know, some things you do just to say you did, but I think I'll keep at this for a while. I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy chatting with you guys. I enjoy being here, running my mouth. I definitely enjoy my sponsors. Once again, want to shout them out. I'm my first and favorite sponsor, of course, Lola Shae Botanicals. And then there is Crooklyn Cannabis Company and Marvin African Art and Books. Love them. So, this is the part of the show where I bring up the upcoming events, still promoting the comedy shows coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we got one on Father's Day. We have one on the 21st of June, and we have one on July the 3rd. So, yeah. Once Al is ready to pull that up, he can do that. But
I love introducing myself. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Terry Hodges.
Terry Hodges presents in Hustle Yard Media the Father's Day Juneteenth Comedy Celebration at the Victoria Theater. That's right, Terry Hodges from Showtime at the Apollo presents a night of laughs with Sean Jones of BET Comic View, Hamburger from Def Comedy Jam, Harlem legend Smokey Suarez, and Stiletto. Sunday, June 16th. The first show is from 7 to 9 p.m. and the second show is from 9:30 to 11:30 p.m. Buy your tickets now on Eventbrite. Tickets are just $39.19 for each show. 2-drink minimum. Lineup subject to change. Come celebrate Dad with laughs at the beautiful Victoria Theater at the Renaissance Harlem Hotel. In the ballroom on the 5th floor. 233 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. It's the Father's Day Juneteenth Comedy Celebration with Terry Hodges.
That shit sound good.
Yes. So yeah, that's Summer Jam coming up on the June 14th. My boys down there at Street Media and Get Fed Records, 718 Collective. 718 Collective is a art collective, a bunch of artists, creatives, awesome group all together. They do really good work. Trying to get me a custom jacket from one of the graffiti artists and a mural for my garden. So yeah. Yep. There's always something going on in New York. If you guys have any events that you'd like to have showcased, please feel free. Submit your flyers and information details that you'd like me to talk about to the Lola Shae Show at gmail.com. So I'm going to talk about guests. So last week we had a guest. I guess last week was a very important part of the show. Sometimes he executive produces shows, sometimes definitely supports and does a lot of things behind the scenes. So love Rollo Toledo. But I didn't really have this show planned for guests regularly. Maybe like every once in a while. I have a certain amount of, I have specific people in mind who I really, really want to sit down and talk to. So I definitely want to start with them first. And maybe that'll get me in the vibe of, but I spent 4 years interviewing people and I loved my job, which is why I'm still doing it. But I'm kind of burnt out on the interviews. I'm like, I don't know what else to say. I don't really want to, I don't know. I want to make it about the topics and the audience mostly, and occasionally about the guests. There was no rules before we run the tickets. Boo! You know we can't win. I can't win a music buff contest. That's unfair to the people who don't work at the stadium. That means at the studio. That means I get to call in and win every time you guys have a thing. That's not fair. You going anyway. I don't even understand, like, why are we doing this on my show? Get off my show with this mess. Music Buff Radio on my show, causing dissension. Okay? You don't need a ticket. What you trying to win a ticket for? Oh, black people. You don't need a ticket. What you need a ticket for? Anyway, trying to win a ticket to his own show. Yeah, I cannot with people, yo. Anyway. Great show tonight, Lola Shae. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that part. He's trying to win the freaking tickets to his own show. I never heard no such thing. I never in my life heard no such thing. That's why they make those kind of rules, you know, because why would you need a ticket and your mother or your father or somebody like that works for the station? You're going to get tickets. Get off my show. Stupid. Anyway. All right. Do we have another music video? Okay, so we have time for the last music video. I'm going to let that take you guys out. Once again, I want to say thank you to my guys who tuned in. I don't care if it's just us. We will chat from now to infinity. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to see there? Get off my show. Get off my show. Confusing my soul. Thank you for tuning in to the Lola Shae Show. I am, of course, your host, the Lola Shae. Yeah, the Lola Shae. That's me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. It's time for the video. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. All right, yeah, I have way too much fun. I do. I admittedly like what do you? I can't even call this a job. This is entirely too much fun to be a job. Honestly, I thought so on Music Buff as well. Too much fun to be considering this a job. I mean, there is work aspects to it. But it's mostly fun. It's because it's creative based. It's based off of, you know, using your imagination and stuff. Yeah, Music Buff is acting out in the chat. I don't understand it. But yeah. See you guys. See you guys next week. Hey, tell me you're not feeling this tunic. I love a tunic. This shit is sharp. It was a gift. I love it. Well, I said I was going to be wearing a swag, so I didn't necessarily say what kind of swag, but it was a gift. So there it is. Hey. I was invited to do a fashion show in August. It's up for debate. You guys would do like a poll. Should I? Shouldn't I? Next week though. Right now, music video.
The blues, the gray, the stress, my gaze, my heart, the strange pains that I guess, my hair crazy nest, lipstick scribbled on my legs, eyes bloodshot, not in pain, feeling my emptiness. SOS, hello. One last swing, turn it up, bottom of the bottle, sanity leaving me, collapsing on the front porch, sailing down by the river. Candy clouds round my head, birds chirping. I want that gumbo red, earth to me. Follow that one night now, no. My head throbbing, my brain in chest, my vision hazy, body aching, my hands against my chest, they pushing me, I'm down, I'm pleading. So when one last swing, turn it up, bottom of the bottle, sanity leaving me, collapsing on the front porch, sailing down by the river. Help me. Thought I was dead and gone, but universe, Ricky God kept me here to run fast. I see the white light and trumpets play, but I wasn't meant to flatline. I rise again. 'Cause I got gifts and purpose. Bring me back to life, bring me back to life. Every time I think about it, I cry. One last sweet, sweet.
to it be a blessing.
When I was frontin', like I was on something, I always had to be right when I really didn't know nothing. I always steady running, always steady coming, running from the truth. What's the use? It's really been on my mind, you really been on my mind. I told myself 1,000 times the detriment is only mine. I ain't gon' point one finger when there's 3 pointing back at you. What I am by you. Say, baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test. Say, baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test. When you go, man, you gotta stop fighting resistance. It's not in your concern how the blessings being given. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Look at your decisions. Turn on your lights, now do your shadow work. So baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test. Say baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test.
Baby, don't you know, stop listening to so-and-so. Adding on advice to you when that advice ain't factual.
Follow your heart, let you determine your being by simply being a creator and invest in your dreams. Now say less, don't ever try to impress. When you a hoe, impress. You gotta understand your love and happiness resides inside of you.
So what you wanna do? You wanna swing around and close the door or walk straight through?
Say baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test. Say baby, don't you run no more. You gotta stop running circles. You gotta run through that door. Pass that test, pass that test, pass that test.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for the Lola Shae Show.